Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So good morning. Welcome to another market open stream. Today, of course, let's talk about what Bitcoin is doing. Can it really double its price in 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Is it possible? And let's talk about what else is going on in the world today. So, welcome, guys. Let's get right to it. Bitcoin is down slightly this morning, and that's due to the U.S. market about to open in deep red. And why is that happening? Well, I do believe earnings, especially the one from Microsoft, is kind of spooking the market. You can see NASDAQ futures down almost 2% because yesterday Microsoft reported their earnings, and it was outstanding. It was about as good as it can be. Microsoft beat revenue. Microsoft beat profits, right? But they gave a gloomy forecast. Well, not that gloomy. They just said that Azure growth will probably come down by 4 or 5 percentage points, right? So it wasn't that gloomy, but people took it as very gloomy that Microsoft expecting that the remainder of this year may get weaker, and that is why they are down in the pre-market right now, about to open in the red, and it kind of spooked the entire market. So that's what's happening this morning. However, not a whole lot of people's paying attention to this, though. Microsoft recently said they're investing billions, up to $10 billion. It has not confirmed. It was not confirmed, but it was rumored that Microsoft was throwing in $10 billion into ChatGPT. Okay, they are going to integrate ChatGPT with their cloud service Azure and with their search Bing and who knows what else. Right? 8:30. So Microsoft is definitely not standing still. They are pushing forward with AI. That's the huge thing that really, that's the new narrative of this year. The big tech narrative is AI and how tech giants will be using it, right? And the same with crypto. We have a lot of AI projects that came up quite a lot within the last month or so. But Microsoft is definitely moving forward. He already says that it's somewhat integrated with Azure already. The CEO says that 200 of Microsoft customers, I don't know how big, but they could be giants, that are using Azure OpenAI service already. So Microsoft plans on integrating OpenAI, which is the company behind ChatGPT, and others. They have something called DALL-E 2, which can generate computer-generated images for you based on any description you give it. So Microsoft is going all in. Despite their earnings, I mean, again, their earnings was great. Despite their gloomy forecast, they are pushing forward. So it'll be really interesting. Really interesting once this all gets integrated. Once you could use ChatGPT on Bing, or I should say in reverse, once you could use Bing with ChatGPT integrated, possibilities are endless. All right, so that's Microsoft. The other big tech company, well, I call them tech, but they're in cars, is Tesla. They are set to report after the market closes today, right? And everyone's trying to guess what their numbers look like. It's probably going to come in below expectations because of what happened the last month of 2022. We saw that Tesla had to cut. They offered a steep discount, right? And they released their Q4 numbers, and they didn't meet it. So most likely it's going to come in bad. But Tesla's not sitting idle either. They just announced they're going to build a $3.5 billion semi-truck plant in Nevada for their big semi-trucks that people thought could never come to market, even though they were delayed by a year or two. It seems like there's a lot of enthusiasm over this, that their semi-truck could actually displace normal 16-wheelers. because of its efficiency, its savings on gas, and less maintenance and everything else. So they are moving forward in a big way with it, and they are expanding their Gigafactory in Texas, which is producing the Model Y and will be producing the Cybertruck, right? And that's also coming. So there's a lot of stuff happening with Tesla too. They are not staying stagnant either. All right, so in terms of market news, these are the two biggest things going on right now. People are wondering what Tesla's going to report and wondering what Microsoft is going to do with ChatGPT. But what about Bitcoin, though? Even though today Bitcoin was pulled down slightly due to the market being in deep red, right? Is it possible that Bitcoin can go on a tremendous run in the next 2 weeks and go to 40,000+? Okay. Well, I got my idea from Plan B. Plan B tweeted this, saying 22K to 40K in 14 days, not impossible. Why is it not impossible? Because we saw it before. We've seen this before. This is not theoretical. Between December 24 and 2020 and January 7th of 2021, we saw Bitcoin go from 22,000 to 40,400. So yes, we've seen it before, not just even percentage-wise. We actually saw Bitcoin go from 20,000 to 40,000 in mere 14 days. Okay, are we going to see the same thing right now? Well, let me make a case for it. We have a lot of charts that show when you go on a tremendous downturn, when you find that bottom, right, and you actually start reversing, what happens? Right, you could see clearly going all the way back to 2014. Every time Bitcoin is stuck under a major trend line, right, usually during crypto winter, right, what happens afterwards? You have a tremendous upside that follows as soon as you break that trend line. And did we just do that? Yes, we did. We went on a, 13-month downtrend. And we finally broke through it, right? So look at all the times that this happened before. You have a nearly 6,000% pump, and then you had a smaller one of 211%. Then you had a 380% one, right? So can we see 100%? All we need is 100% to get to 40,000. Can we see that? Well, if history is on our side, then yes, we could definitely see it. Also, just us mimicking previous cycles, previous downturns. Whenever we break through some crucial moving averages, like in 2018, 2019, when Bitcoin broke above the 200 moving average, what happened? It went on a tremendous run. And what happened right now? We did the same thing, right? So again, using history, that means that something great is happening, and we'll see. But there's so many that shows the same thing, right? This is looking at a different indicator called Hashrate, but kind of the same thing. All these indicators are measuring oversold levels, moving averages, and comparing the past to the present. And again, every single time Bitcoin went from red on this indicator and turned green, right? You could see a lot of green followed every single time, right? And guess what? We just flipped into the green. Just like all the previous times when we had a million candles in the red, whenever we flipped to green, wow, right? Looking good. Here's another one that's just looking at MACD, right? Whenever MACD starts flipping upwards, it finds that peak, in this case, the bottom peak, and we start flipping upwards. Guess what happens? Bitcoin goes on a tremendous run, right? So, all these are supporting the case. And looking at fundamentals, the hash rate is back to all-time high. The miners are kicking in high gear once again. They are not leaving. They're not shutting down. In fact, they're spinning up even more rigs because this is a competition. This is a competition to see who could acquire the most Bitcoins before there's no more. Honestly, that's the best way to think about it. Everyone in the world that truly understands about Bitcoin, they are in a race to see how much they could acquire before it's simply too late, before Bitcoin gets too expensive or there's just no more. And the miners are leading the pack. They have thousands to tens of thousands of Bitcoin, and they continue to hold every single one that they mine, right? So fundamentals still looking good for Bitcoin. And you have institutional investors jumping back in. You could see open interest with Bitcoin futures surges near 21% record as institutions come back in. So institutions are not sitting on the side. These big boys are not stupid. They know. They know what's going on. They've been buying OTC, and now they're flocking to futures too, right? So to answer the question, can Bitcoin double its price in 2 weeks? I would say there's a chance. I don't know if that chance is great. I don't know if that chance is spectacular, but there's definitely a chance because Bitcoin has done it before. Yes, exact same levels. It has done it before. And plus, all the indicators show a major reversal happening. And usually what follows is tremendous upside. Plus, institutions are coming back into the space. Plus, the fundamentals of Bitcoin, like hash rate and network activity and network addresses, are still all going up. Well, there's a chance. There's a chance. All right. That is what I want to cover this morning. As for the overall market cap, down slightly from yesterday. There is a big pump I saw from Aptos. Aptos, I don't know what's going on. They just yesterday they dumped down, I think, to like $12 or something. And then today they jumped up huge. So they're kind of an exception today. Everything else is probably in the red because of the overall U.S. market being in the red. But still, we're above 1 trillion market cap, which is a significant level, right? As long as we can stay above that, looking good. Looking good. All right. Where's the U.S. market? NASDAQ is still looking really weak today because of Microsoft. Who knows? Maybe Tesla could pull the market up tomorrow, though I don't think their earnings is going to be good. But who knows? Maybe tomorrow we'll get pulled up because of Tesla. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. I don't trust the recent surge in AI. Easy way to control. I don't know. Clarify that. GBT will be a game changer for coding trades. I think people are already using it to create like trading bots and stuff like that. If you know what you're doing, you can have it generate code for you and compile it and run it. I mean, possibilities are endless. I think it just comes down to if ChatGPT and Microsoft, if they dumb it down too much. They're already doing that. They're dumbing it down so it's not too useful, but people have found ways around that. All right, scrolling down here. Rex says BTC hasn't broken a log chart trend line. Good to know. By the way, I'm not streaming on Rumble today because it's being DDoS right now. So I don't know what's going on with Rumble. Everyone on Twitch, can we expect new glitches on the stock market? I don't know what happened with the glitch with New York Stock Exchange. No idea why it had a glitch. I don't know. Anything about Curito? Yeah, they're like I think they're, I forgot what they were about. Like a layer 2 DEX. I have to refresh my head. I looked into them before. They're either a DEX or they're like a financial play, but I forgot what specifically. It's different for them. So I'll have to look into them again. I have not looked at them for years now. Miles, yes. Yes. Just stop being so annoying. OpenAI leads to Skynet, leads to Terminator. Possibly. Possibly. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Do you think you need a pump soon? Sure. I just did a whole piece about Uniswap yesterday. They're trying to expand out to Binance Chain, which would be, I think it's a really good idea. So they basically cover all L2s for Ethereum and Ethereum itself and Binance Chain. I think that's a pretty big move. So Uniswap, I think they're in a good spot. Your thoughts on Shin Coin making impact with Visa expanding stablecoins? No thoughts. Never heard of it, and I don't think that's a big thing. Visa already formed partnerships with many other projects, but I doubt they're going to do anything significant on such a small project. Do you ever take the macro environment or economics into account? Yeah, of course. What happens if the Fed pivots? When the Fed pivots, the entire market is going to rally. We don't even need a Fed pivot for that to happen. We just need Powell to talk about it. And we're going to hear him say something like that in about a week. February 2nd, when he has his press conference, right? He's going to say, if he increases the rate by only 25 basis points, it would already be very, very positive. If in an off chance he decides not to raise rates at all, okay, the market will skyrocket. And basically, if that happens, he's going to say, well, we think we've done enough. We're going to monitor situation, but inflation is obviously coming down. And, later this year, we may even cut rates. I mean, it'll be, wow. It'll be fantastic. Miles, I have no idea what you're saying, man. Why should we care about Powell? Isn't that the system we're trying to escape? Yes. But the reality is Powell affects the markets, affects how poor people become, And those people are the ones that are buying Bitcoin. Okay, so the reality is, yes, it does affect Bitcoin. It does affect the entire crypto market. If Powell sends the U.S. economy into a death spiral and causes depression, it's going to affect everything, okay, including crypto. So, yes, we need to pay attention to that. But in the long run, as Bitcoin gets bigger and bigger and bigger, as more people hodl, and as supply diminishes to none, then whatever the Fed does at that point in time is going to be less impactful. But we're nowhere close to that point yet. Do we have to report any amount of crypto we own to the IRS? No, you just have to report if you sold any crypto, whether you made any gains or losses. Okay, if you simply buy crypto, you don't have to report it. If you bought crypto and you sold it or traded it for any other crypto, including a stable coin, then you have to report it. Still not bullish on it. I can't be bullish on Aptos. Just because it pumps up 20% doesn't make me bullish on Aptos. That's the problem for most people. They see a pump up and they're like, oh, it must be good, so I'm going to buy in. No, that's not what you do, right? I've said I don't know enough about Aptos to form a new decision, but I've never liked Aptos before because of how hyped up it was. And has ties with FTX and has ties with Facebook. So those are three negatives. But maybe there's something really crazy about it I've missed, so I need to do more research on it. Do you think tech stocks will go sideways plus or minus 10% for the remainder of this year? No, I don't. I think second half of this year will be tremendous. In the first half, we're already seeing good movement. So I think for tech stocks, the second half of this year is going to be way more than 10%. I mean, Tesla itself has come up more than 10%. I mean, they were up like 7% on Monday. So most tech stocks have gone up more than 10% from their lows recently. Is there any XRP news? No, there isn't. Supposedly, there was a settlement coming today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Non-event. Are you bullish on optimism? I'm not bullish on them. I think they're just there. They're great. Another L2 that could help scale Ethereum and Ethereum-based apps? Sure. But there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Simon, sorry to hear you were scammed out of 1.8 BTC, but now you got to 3. Congratulations. That's very, very tough. Very tough. I bought Audios at top. Hold it. Yes, I still think they're interesting. They still have millions of users listening every month, although they don't even know they're listening to a decentralized platform. But I think they're still interesting. Not really a fan. Moody, I'm not a fan of Veracity. And someone, Miguel, asked about Vulcan Forge. I think they're kind of like a poor man's version of Gala. They're, a gaming platform, but they don't have nearly as many games or things going on. So I'm neutral on Vulcan. And same thing with Veracity. Anything on Cardano? I just covered it. Cody will be releasing DGED this week before the new month. So that could be very exciting for Cardano. Very, very exciting to have its own very first stable coin. Man, just zooming out here. Bitcoin has to go from here break above 24.2 to 31, and then it has to break above to around here. And you can see actually this was a temporary resistance around here, right up here, double to 44,000. If you look at this also, this is actually pretty encouraging too. This is on a daily scale. If you look at stochastic, you know, topped out. A stochastic RSI always needs to come down, right? It moves faster than our RSI. And MACD is coming down. But despite this big dip, we're about halfway to the bottom already. Despite that, you know, Bitcoin, look at the price. It hardly moved at all, right? Normally, in a bad market, when there's a lot of fear out there, when stochastic RSI comes down, you could see there's big reds, right? Like this with this, you can clearly see it, right? So we hardly moved down at all, despite the fact that we should be coming down. You know, that's very positive, very encouraging. So Bitcoin is definitely strong right now, but you know, the US market still kind of shaky a little bit. Everyone's still wondering what Powell's going to do, but that could change come February 2nd, which is basically 1 week from now. February 2nd, that would be Thursday. Powell could change the whole market, the whole direction, if he stops the rate hike or just raise it a little bit, 25 basis points, rather than 50. I mean, we will see in about a week. MMAI. Meta Monkey AI. That's just a horrible name. 4 million market cap. I'm sorry. They don't compete with the likes of Polygon or Decentraland. Nowhere close at this point. How can we buy DJed? I think you'll have to get it on an exchange. I'm sure there will be some exchanges that offer it. I'm pretty sure they're going to open up on like the Cardano dexes, like MinSwap or Sunday Swap or something like that. I haven't actually, that's a good question. I haven't heard which dexes or centralized exchanges will be listing it. But, you know, we'll see. Corrida, I already told you, Orkin. I can't speak on it. I totally forgot what they're about. Chalamas, congratulations. That's exciting to be to get married, especially in Hawaii. If the basis point when the market drop, I think so. I think like the expectation was 50 basis point for the next rate hike, but because of the CPI inflation report, now the expectation has changed to 25. But if Powell still sticks with 50, I think the market could go down from there. But at least it'll be like ripping off the Band-Aid because Powell has always said he wants to reach 5%. And we're at 4.25%. So you still have 0.75%, at least according to the original plan. So that means one of these rate hikes has to be 50 basis points and one will be 25, right? So if he does 50, it's not the end of the world, but I think Wall Street already priced in that it's going to be 25. I don't know. That's kind of my thought around that. Flash Gordon, Gordob. I bought Solana at 9 cents. I think that's what you meant. Are you sure you bought it at 9 cents? Did you get in an ICO or something? I don't recall Solana ever being at 9 cents. Or are you talking about some other project? There we go. I'll leave this one up. I watched the first episode of Last of Us. People told me that it's a great show. You know, it's just like all other zombie shows. I'm kind of quite sick of zombie shows. I started watching The Blacklist because I've seen some clips, and The Blacklist is awesome. And what's awesome about it is there's 9 seasons of it, and they're all like 20-something episodes. You know how like modern shows is like 8 episodes or 10 episodes at most? Because The Blacklist has been on NBC for so long, they're like 22 episodes or something per season. So I just got done with season 1. It's a terrific show. It's a really, really good show for people that want to start a new show. George, if you don't sell your trading card box, will you open it? Maybe you can make a stream on Twitch for it. No, because that'd be stupid. Because the boxes I hold are worth way too much to do a Twitch stream for, and then I'm gonna end up losing money. You know, the chances of pulling a good card out of those boxes is a chance of like winning the lottery, right? They're very, very small chance you pull anything good. So the best is to just basically hold on to boxes and then resell it, in my opinion. How many BTC do I need to semi-retire this bull run? I don't know. It depends on your lifestyle. I think there's a really, really, really high chance that Bitcoin this run will peak around 200,000. Anywhere from 150 to 200,000. I would say somewhere between there. So it'll be roughly double our last peak, which was at 69,000, right? So I think this next bull run, we could see Bitcoin get up to as high as 200,000. So if you simply add 5 Bitcoins, that's $1 million, right? So can you semi-retire with $1 million? Yeah. At least it allow you to quit your 9-to-5 job and allow you to do something else that you enjoy, right? So you're semi-retired, but still maybe working on something else. I think that's a real possibility. Michael, I have no thoughts about Icon. I actually think it's probably a dead project. If you've been watching me since 2017, you would know that in 2018, 2019, 2020, Icon no longer became relevant, and I don't hear anything about them anymore. They were trying to create, digital ID system and trying to tokenize everything in South Korea. They were the biggest project for South Korea, but that's no longer the case. A lot of people have told me that, Ray. When Glenn got whacked by Negan, they stopped watching The Walking Dead because it was so gruesome. Like, no one expected that. it probably will be remembered as one of the most gruesome, episodes of all time. It's just different. It hit differently. It's not like, watching a zombie show, you see some guts being ripped out or whatever. It's just different. With Glenn, it was just like, it was too real. You were too emotionally attached to the character for them to do him like that. And I think the showrunners, they realized what a mistake it was, because half the people watching the show stopped watching afterwards. Yeah, today is not looking good. U.S. market is dragging down Bitcoin slightly. I mean, when you zoom out, you realize it hasn't really moved. But you zoom in a little bit, yeah, it's down a little bit. But we have seen this. Even 2 days ago, we dipped down here and then came back up. We dipped here even earlier today. So nothing to be panicking about when it comes to Bitcoin. But the U.S. market right now, not looking so good. What is Microsoft is down 4% today due to their gloomy forecast. I think they kind of just led the way. And then Tesla's down about 3%, although their earnings announcements after market. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Overall, stay strong, my friends. Can Bitcoin double in 2 weeks? Seems like it's impossible. Seems like there's no way it can happen. Well, it has done that before. We have seen that before. And all the metrics and fundamentals and growing adoption and growing hashing show that there is a chance. And even if it doesn't happen in 2 weeks, it's going to happen eventually. And that is why we need to stay strong and stay in the game. All right? So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll see what else is going on at that time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.